I'm not going to comment on Claudine Gay's personal decision. I'll just say that, in recent weeks, I've been very dismayed by the anti-Semitism that we've witnessed on Harvard's campus and kind of the lack of attention it's been given by the school's administration. So I hope this marks a new attitude on behalf of the school that they are going to take this issue seriously because it's long overdue that they, give this the proper attention it deserves. Yeah, I think this is a very good question, and I think the problem here is a double standard. Harvard has rescinded admissions to applicants who've circulated racist memes online. They have strongly condemned anti-Catholic protests. And I think that there is just a double standard when it comes to, anti-Semitism and to Jewish students. And I think that was kind of what motivated those answers you saw in the hearing. Because it's only when it comes to anti-Semitic hate speech that, the school tolerates it and gives these kind of lawyerly equivocal answers. And so I think this is kind of the bigger issue that we've got to deal with. It's this, double standard that has become pervasive, not just on Harvard's campus, but on college campuses and in progressive spaces around the country. Yeah, I mean, I think free speech is a very important issue, and it's difficult to figure out where exactly the boundaries are. I'll say a couple of things. One is that universities aren't, bound by the First Amendment standard when it comes to speech. They're not required to tolerate everything that can be said in the public square that the government is not supposed to interfere with. And so I think it's actually quite appropriate that the university enforces stricter standards. If people are calling for the genocide of Jews, while they might be allowed to do that in the public square, universities don't need to tolerate it. They don't need to tolerate it because it's hateful, and they don't need to tolerate it because it makes students feel unsafe. And so I think that's an important distinction to make. Exactly where to draw the lines, that's a complicated question. But I do think that there has been this double standard because, other students have been, their acceptances have been rescinded because of really hateful and offensive speech that they've said. And I think that's also within the university's right to do. So we just need to be consistent. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a plagiarism expert, so I can't really comment on the details of the allegations that she faced. For me, the most important issue has been the anti-Semitism we've been seeing on a nearly daily basis across the school, on social media, in protests, and the university's lackluster response.
Well, my first reaction was frankly shock. I didn't expect her to make this decision at this time. Yes, I do think that they were quite problematic. I think that they were the testimony was a disaster. I watched hours of the testimony and I can understand, I think, what she was trying to say in a larger context, but it really was a very unfortunate choice of words in the clip that you played. And it didn't do justice to her or to the university. That's true. Absolutely not. This is actually essential. So I think asking a president to resign because congressional leaders don't like their testimony, that's not something that I support. A president found to have committed serious acts of research misconduct or scholarly misconduct, including forms of plagiarism, very might well be asked to resign. But unfortunately, we didn't see here an actual investigation consistent with Harvard's procedures for dealing with faculty research misconduct. So, we've had instances in the past where prominent, well-respected faculty have been accused of plagiarism. We've had instances, there's a faculty committee that's formed, there's a serious investigation into their actions according to the highest scholarly standards, and then appropriate actions are taken, which can include apologies, which can include corrections, which can include, censure. And that's actually the kind of response I would have liked to see. So not a statement from a governing board, which isn't composed of academics and scholars, and I don't know by what standards they decided that, how to decide if something's a serious issue or not, but rather using the procedures that are already in place at Harvard, and that wasn't done. Well, I'm not sure what she means. I don't know what scandal she knows is about to unfold that I'm not aware of. Certainly, my own historical research leads me to believe that independent universities, independent from outside political influence, are one of the most critical elements of a thriving democracy. And so for me, the danger here would be to lose our independent universities, to have a second kind of McCarthyite attack on universities and their scholarship based on political motives of any kind. So that is a greater fear to me than whatever mysterious scandal the representative believes is unfolding. Well, I don't like to impugn such terrible motives to people, but there are people who have come straight out and said that they believe that Claudine Gay, before the plagiarism allegations even came out, that they believe Claudine Gay was only appointed because she's Black, because she's a woman, but especially because she's Black. And, those kinds of allegations really don't have any place in rational and reasoned conversations about the qualifications of a university president. So I think when people say that out loud, we can't deny that that's playing a role. I wouldn't want to accuse any individual person who doesn't come out and say it, that that's their motivation, but there are plenty of people who do. I'm getting hate mail myself. I just actually, while I was waiting to come on with you, opened an email from someone demanding my resignation because I've spoken out on behalf of Claudine Gay, although really on behalf of Harvard and its independence and its procedures and processes more than on behalf of any individual person. And I can't even imagine what she's had to face. I don't like to think about it, actually.